under Mr. Trump administration, we really are being impacted. Gas almost $5 in some places. In Savannah, over $4 a gallon. And they're saying we don't know how long this may last. Mr. Trump lied about he could drive down prices. He has not done it. He did the opposite. Now, the Supreme Court did the worst thing that could happen last week when they allowed the state of Louisiana to draw another map, and it gutted the Voting Rights Act of 1965. That was Dr. King's outstanding achievement, the right to vote, which is guaranteed to us by the 15th Amendment to the Constitution. And Dr. King, do what you say on paper. And I have a big problem with Mr. Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court. The decision was 6-3. There are 9 members, of course, 6-3. And for one time in his life, he should have abstained and not voted. And they could have won 5-3. He should have said, I cannot vote to remove African Americans out of the Congress. Some of those guys who represent and women, different states, will lose their position and they'll have to come out of Congress because of the decision that they render, because it's going to dilute the vote. And gerrymandering, that's what gerrymandering is. Remember, I told you many months ago about gerrymandering. I never thought it would come to this, that we have to lose black folk out of Congress. The last black folk was in the Congress, had to leave, was in 1901. I think the man's name was Mr. Wright, and he made a farewell speech to the Congress that African Americans will have to fight back to be back into the House of Representatives. Tonight we have a serious situation here coming up. May the 19th is voting. We have people who will be running our governments, and we have wonderful people. Tonight we have several people that will be on the ballot for your consideration. And first I'll be talking with 2 individuals that will be going to the polls to vote for the 1st Congressional District. Now, this district years ago was operated and ran by Jack Kingston, a friend of mine, a white gentleman. I was surprised one time when he went to the Alpha's Ball. He was the person that did, even though he was a Republican, he worked along with the black community, with Mr. Law, Mr. Jackson, all these people. But when the district was divided, gerrymandered, then Jack Kingston was not able to represent the portion where African Americans were. And he ran for the opposite side. He was staying in office for quite some time until he decided to run for the Senate. He was always on the television, and now he was a lobbyist, helping big corporations with getting legislation passed to benefit them. Jack Kingston's son now is running in the same district. The Carter man got out of the race, and now he's running for Senate. That's why we got to get out and vote as black folk. That's all we got to benefit us now, is to be able to vote. They have gerrymandered, and even Mr. Clyburn, great man from South Carolina, he led the fight to get Joe Biden to be president, if you can remember. He may lose his seat because of this gerrymandering. So what we're going to have to do, like the lady said on TV this morning, we will have to get out and vote. We got to vote.
Yes.
That's what we got to do.
Yes.
Because we got to overlook and undo what the Supreme Court has done. So tonight we have 2 individuals running for the 1st Congressional District. And I got to say about her, Ms. Joyce Griggs, she ran against Jack Kingston.
Yes.
Am I right, Ms. Griggs?
That's exactly right. I sure did.
And tell us how many votes, what percentage of the votes that you ran.
That was my first time running for office. Hadn't run for anything before, and I got over 30-something%, as I recall. Yep, first time.
Running against Jack Kingston, who had been a representative in that seat for quite a few years.
For quite a few years. and we didn't have the monies.
And you didn't have the money.
That's right.
And I think you told me a lot of white people at that time voting.
Yes.
Now here's what the strategy is this time. Hopefully,
Okay.
a lot of white Republicans have turned against them and voting to the Democrats.
Yes.
So
We believe so.
I hope that will prevail. But because now the only thing I'm concerned about, Jack Kingston's son has entered the race. Now,
Yes.
whether the people going to think of Jack Kingston, so we got to do this, Jack Kingston's son, or they're going to think about the condition that Mr. Trump has everybody in today.
Right.
High prices, no unemployment high. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And
Grover, let me just say one thing. When I ran against Jack Kingston, we didn't have any money, and we were overspent 100 to 1, but we did a very, very good job. After I ran, I want to say this. We're talking about redistricting, gerrymandering. They redrew the district because I made it whiter.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they did. I mean, even after I ran, because they saw me as a potential threat back then. So people need to wake up and realize, okay, where we are right now.
Exactly.
It's a serious situation with this Voting Rights Act and how they're just wiping things out. Look at Virginia. They voted.
They voted.
Voted. Exactly. And then they come back and undo it. So they basically disenfranchised the voters of Virginia.
And they're trying to disenfranchise black folk entirely.
Period.
Period.
Exactly, Grover.
So really, they're trying to redress us right back to where we were before the 60s.
That's right.
So tell us something. You got a few more minutes. I had to interview one or two other people.
Okay.
Tell us what is your major objective you would like to achieve if you win the seat?
Well, I'm going to win this seat, and I
have to be positive.
Yeah, that's right. I speak those things that are not as though they are.
Exactly.
Well, most of all, there's so many issues right now.
Mm-hmm.
My number one objective is to listen to the people and to be transparent, to be available for the people. But also, like I said, there's so many issues. This affordability, the health care, the high prices of gas, the high price of food.
Exactly.
People don't even know whether to buy that, especially the elderly, the medication or get food. Okay, the children. 1 in every 5 child in this district goes to bed hungry every night. And that should not be.
In the richest country in the world.
The richest country in the world. And guess what is sad? Maternal mortality rate is extremely high.
Especially from babies.
That's right. And then the mothers. The black mothers are dying at an alarming rate that just had babies, okay? I went on mission trips, Africa, Mexico, Haiti. Their mortality rate among the children and mother is higher than ours here in America. So something is wrong with that picture. So I will fight for things like that and bring equality to all people and make sure that your children and my children can eat, can have a decent school, a decent education. See, they gutted so much. They gutted the Civil Rights Act, let's say, gutted the Voting Rights Act. They gutted the Department of Education, have a literate a population in order for us to excel and go farther and go higher. But they're wanting to cut a lot of stuff out, especially in underprivileged neighborhoods. And that should not be. We must fight. I'm a fighter. I can't be bribed and I can't be bought. Okay. I got receipts to prove what I've done. Okay. So bottom line is lobbyists or whoever might want to come up, they can't talk to me about giving me money to vote the way they want me to vote. I'm voting for the people because I represent the people. I don't represent myself. And that's why I think it's very important. You need a congressperson up there that can hit the ground day one running. And I am that person. See, I've served over 33 years in the military as, Grover, think about it, as an intelligence officer. How many intelligence officers of people do we see in the national system? People of color. No. You don't, okay? So I was an intelligence officer in the military, worked with every intelligence agency that you could think about. Okay, even in Iraq, and it's still standing today, as far as I know, I helped write legally binding agreement between America and Iraq.
That's
okay?
Very good. Yeah.
And then also, Grover, a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of them have heard of the Crown Act. It started right here in Savannah, Georgia. Okay, I got upset when there was righteous indignation. There was a clerk in the Superior Court, and the clerk of court wanted to fire her. In any event, I was coming from court in Hinesville. I got upset because they wanted to fire her because of the way she wore her hair. We called a press conference. We ended up on Atlanta Journal and Constitution. We ended up on CNN. They flew us to New York for an interview. And guess what? The outcry was phenomenal. By the time they made that policy just for that young lady, by the time we got back to Savannah, they reversed that policy. Right now, in over 27 states, the Crown Act has been implemented, okay? And it's at the federal level. Warnock, from what I understand, introduced it at the federal level. And I talked with Al Williams yesterday, a day before. I said, Al, while you're there, please push it through, okay? Still stall in the State House, all right? It's very important, y'all. This may not seem like a lot, but it's the civil rights issue. Anytime you want to fire somebody from their job because of the way they wear their hair. And let's face it, we as people of color, our hair is of certain texture, whatever. So, and this covers children also, so they're not impacted. Okay, so I've done a lot of work in the community. I fed the hungry. I provided housing. Okay, I've done all kinds of things for people. Provided free legal advice. Provided services.
Well, I'm so happy to say that the last few minutes that you have, I would like to say this. So one of the problems that we have in the community really is unity. We don't seem to have the unity. And personally, I'm speaking from a personal individual, that a person comes that made no advance in the community. They've done nothing constructive in the community.
That's right.
And you come in here, done nothing, and all certain people come in, certain people push their people, and they think you got to go vote for them because this individual or these individuals behind this person.
Exactly.
You need to look at what the person has done in this community.
That's right. That's right. And
that's what you need.
Guess what?
Because in the final analysis,
that
person could cause the vote to be divided.
Oh, yes.
And that's what happens.
That's what happens.
No togetherness. But I can say one thing, and I praise God for that I never have seen and I saw the unity of the black people during the 60s, during the civil rights struggle, church after church, Sunday after Sunday. If you didn't get to the church before 4 o'clock, you got no seat.
Okay.
That's unity. The kind of unity we need.
That's the unity.
Not because somebody comes to some place and this person there, I don't give a right if it's a superintendent or the mayor, anybody else. Look at that individual. What has that individual done in Savannah, Georgia?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, Grover? Out of the Democrats' last several elections, I've scored the highest number of votes against any Democrat against the one sitting in the seat now, against Buddy Carter. Okay.
So what in the close, because I got to interview Ms. Williamson for the same position. And I usually I don't have two people at the same time, but we had the technical problem. That's what the show was not able to function because of technology. But if you look at the last 3 years, it only happens 3 times, which is average 1 time a year. So that's pretty good record. And I want everybody to stay tuned because I'm going to feel a lot of these individuals that came on this show are serving this community first class.
Okay, fantastic.
So what do you like to say to the voters?
Okay, voters, I tell you,
time is over.
I want you to get out to those polls. Take your brother, take anybody. You have to put your dog in the car. Get out to those polls and vote. You need to vote. We must vote and encourage people to get out and vote. Some of them are saying it's not going to do any good. It will do good. The criminal justice system is impacted about how people vote. Everything. Okay. So I implore you to get in some good trouble, like John Lewis said, and get out to the polls and vote for Joyce Marie Griggs for U.S. Congress 1st Congressional District. You see, I'm not a politician. I'm a servant. I'm combat proven. I was born to serve and trained to lead. So vote Joyce Marie Griggs for U.S. Congress 1st Congressional District. You will not be disappointed. I promise you, I shall deliver.
Thank you very much for being on the show. And you and I have been friends many years.
Yes, we have. And this is my Grover. Yes.
Be successful. I know if you won, you'll be great.
Yes, I'll do the right thing.
There's other leaders about to run, Ms. Williamson, and I know it's the same thing.
Okay.
I want the seat for somebody black.
Yes, we'll get it. We'll do it. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So we'll take a break just for a moment, and we bring our next guest in.
Okay. Thank you, Grover.
Yeah, you stay, don't leave. We got to go. Ms. Williamson, come on.
I'm right here, but you know what people don't know behind the scenes? That all of us actually like each other. Exactly. Behind the scenes, people don't know that part.
What'd she say?
We all like each other.
Yeah. Okay.
We like each other.
They got to do with it. Come on here now. I like
Okay. You sure you want me to sit here?
That's what I like for you to do. Speaking of that.
All right, let me see. I don't have my lipstick on though.
That was
Make sure the
Miss
lipstick-
Joyce Griggs.
That was
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back now with another contestant for this first congressional seat. I'm not going to apologize again because I did not have the show last month, and I just told you why. Because
Yes.
Mr. Griggs should have been on last week,
Yes.
and you should have been, but both of y'all are fine. Either one of you ladies win the seat will be fine with me. As long as we have somebody black who contributes to this community, who love this community, and that's what we kind of do.
Yes.
Okay, now, Ms. Raven, tell us something about yourself.
Well, I'm Dr. Sharon Stokes Williamson. I am a resident of Savannah, Georgia. I've been here all my life. I have worked for the state of Georgia for over 22 years, regional level, where I have been working in the homes of families, regardless of age, 0 to 100, putting services in the home for individuals with developmental disabilities, services to seniors, needing in-home personal care home as an alternative to nursing homes. I've worked with child abuse. I've worked with mental health. I worked with substance abuse. I have been in the face of families in their homes for a number of years. And then there's a number of volunteer community service opportunities that I engaged in for pretty much a lifetime. So many of the issues that you heard Ms. Griggs talk about stands true to me as well. But I've been here for 59 years.
Oh, wonderful.
And I have not
Now-
left the city
Now
of
you
this
tell
district.
us why you so interested in running the first congressional district seat and what you would like to achieve if you be successful, and we want to listen.
Yeah, well, what I first want to say to people is that, the first thing people ask us, why are you running and what are you going to do for us? But I want people to realize that the state of Georgia, the way the Constitution is set up, the state has the decision, what the governor, as far as what happened in these various districts. Federal government come in as a support. So where there are gaps, the federal government will come in as a support. When you think about the property taxes going up, which so many of us are dealing with that as well, you think about the millage rate. On a good day, the federal government will support fund fire department, schools, things like that. And when there is no support coming from the federal government, the city and the counties have to go to the people, the taxpayers, to get just to recoup those funds. So I just want people to know that the state is in full control of what happens in it, but the federal government acts as a role of a support. So if you send me to Congress, or if you decide that I am the one ready and able to represent you in the Democratic Party, I want you to know that I will fight for you. I normally don't use the word fight. I use the word advocate, but I will fight for you. I understand the issues of affordability. I know that we talk about affordable housing. I know we talk about affordable health care. But if we don't get high-paying jobs here, good high-paying jobs here, how could you afford anything if you don't have a job? And if we don't fight for the federal minimum wage to increase, how could you afford anything? Right now, we're having to make a decision of whether or not we can afford to pay our light bill, or buy ground beef for some spaghetti, or pay for an office visit to see your medical provider. So it's a lot of tough decisions that families are making right now. And I was sitting at home 1 year ago when I lost my job. I was among the 300 African-American women who lost their jobs during the period of, I think it was a period of January to, I know mine was in May. And it didn't make no sense to lose the position, but I felt like God gave me an opportunity to have lived experience on what people were actually dealing with in their homes. So I lost my health insurance. My 401k went on hold. I could not afford to pay for my annual visits like mammograms, or any of my women health things that insurance would pay for. I had to skip those things. I had to decide on which appointments were most important and which were not. So that is kind of like some of the main reasons why I decided to run for this office.
Well, do you think, let me answer this.
Yes.
Many of the Republicans' population, they're turning toward the Democrats. Uh, do you think Jack Kingston's son, as you heard me say when Ms. Griggs was on the show, many people might vote for him because his daddy was such a long advocate of that. So the question I'm asking you was, do you think a lot of Republicans are turning against the Republicans and going to vote Democrat? You think I think that's why we will have a chance to get a black representative in that seat?
I can't. That's a strong prediction. It's really strong. But I will say that people are waking up. People are now no longer voting against their interests, regardless of the race of the person, and not voting their values. Because your values may be, well, I'm not going to vote for a black person because I just don't. I'm not going to do that. But if you have a black representative that's actually standing on issues and actually understand the suffering, it's suffering right now. The suffering that people are experiencing, may drive that. It may drive that. And one thing we know is African American people, that's just a stigma that comes with, well, if a black person get in office, they only going to care about black issues. No, that's not true. We don't want people to suffer. We've never been that. We are very compassionate people.
Yes, we
are.
And
we are not a people that want to see people suffer or are not live productive and healthy lives, in our district or in Georgia.
That's true, and I agree with you. But I think a lot of times we are our own worst enemy because we do not have unity among ourselves. Yeah. And I would love to see a black person in that position. But I got to say now, time they said they may be that way, but they're going to remember Jack Kingston. I can tell you that up front because he was very thought of. And he lost the Senate seat, ran for the Senate. And a lot of people didn't know about North Georgia. That's where his weakness was. But anyhow, I do wish that you, Ms. Griggs, be one of the ones that would represent us because I know you for the people. You're for the people. And do you wish to say anything else you want to say?
I just want to say, it's early voting up until May the 15th. You can call me at any time if you have questions you want to ask. If you want to invite me to come out to your church, I am one of those persons that just don't show up at the door. I'm just raised where I'm invited into your space. But if you want to invite me, call me, just anything that you need. But on May 19th, Tuesday, May 19th, please get out and vote. Vote for one of the candidates. Vote for somebody. Sit home and don't stay undecided. Vote for someone. So thank you, Mr. Grover, for this opportunity to use your platform to get my message out to the people in the first district.
You was on the show, and like I said, I do hope, since you was on the show, and since Ms. Griggs was on the show, that one of you ladies will become the winner.
Thank you, sir.
To improve black folk, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you
for coming on the show. Thank you so much.
Opportunity.
But at this time, we're going to take a few little minutes for a break, and we'll be right back to listen to Straight Talk with Grover Thornton. All right now, Ms. Hoskins.
Yes.
Come in, man, let me ask you a question.
Yes. Yes, sir.
You think I'm doing nice?
You're doing a very good job.
All right, we're right back again to inform you. Like I said, that's the main premise of our show: to educate and to inform. Uh, there's so many things I want to talk with you about the federal government. That's what happened to black folk. But tonight is a special night because of the election on the 19th, and I had to forego a lot of my information that I want to bring to the people. I try to keep you informed for as a black people. But I will say this, I will say it again and again and again. Our only escape, our only way to improve ourselves for the next 2 years of the Trump administration is to get out and vote. I'll say that again. To get out and vote. That's what's important. That's all we got. We have never been a country of people with plenty of money. All we got is, when you look at all the corporations, like Dr. King said in one of his speeches, that this capitalist society, this capitalism did not grow because of the myth we have that honesty and good white people, they worked hard on. It grew on the back of slaves, exploitation of slaves. That's what built this economy. And we're suffering from it. We never received a fair distribution of the wealth in this nation. And so the only way we can get ahead is to vote. And the vote 1870, when the 15th Amendment to the Constitution was passed, we could not vote other than for the President of the United States on the Democratic primary. We could not vote in the Democratic primary. We stopped voting in the Democratic primary in 1948 or 47. And the reason why that happened, I want the people in Savannah, GA to know, it happened because of the hard work of Dr. Ralph Mark Gilbert. He set up 44 NAACP chapters throughout the state of Georgia. He started the conference that they have every year in Atlanta. But I said this to him. He encouraged two ministers in Columbus, Georgia. One was Dr. King, and the other one named Dr. Oh goodness, the other one, I tip of my tongue. I can't think of the last name right now. But he encouraged them to follow suit in the federal court to vote in the Democratic primary. And we started voting in the Democratic primary in 1948. We could only vote for the President of the United States. That was it. And in 1870, the 15th Amendment was passed. These were the laws that were passed to enhance black folk to first-class citizenship. The 13th Amendment did away with slavery. The 14th Amendment, equal protection of the law. And the 15th Amendment, the right to vote. And I can never understand. I said to myself over and over and over. And I started with 1948. 48 states allowed 35 states, allowed 13 states to treat black folk the way they did in this country. I never will understand it. You had to have the North, the West, the Midwest, all the many of them tied in with the Southern Democrats to suffer black people. And that's what the objective is here today with all of this gerrymandering, all this maps and this district, break it up, to dilute the vote, to make African Americans and other people of color not effective in this democracy. It's a shame. But if we all get out and vote, that can make the difference. But we got to have unity within our society. Right now, all these organizations right here in Savannah, the NAACP, all the other people, all these men, all the telling people to get out and vote. To get out and vote. That's what made the difference that Dr. Gilbert had 19,000 people registered to vote. All over the state of Georgia, people voted. And we had this tough voting and the argumentation between the federal court in Alabama. I mean, they were located in Texas. That was the district where the federal court was. And the decision was to give African Americans the right to vote in the Democratic primary. And that's why a lot of changes came, because of the vote. They don't want us to vote. They try to dilute the vote with all these maps so we won't be effective. And it's a shame, but like the man said on TV this morning, we got to show them by getting out and voting. They try to do everything. Trump is trying to do everything because he knows that if they lose the House of Representatives number one, Mr. Jefferson will become the first African American Speaker of the House of Representatives, and they don't want that. The Republicans don't. Lady, who's a wonderful lady, a friend of mine, and she's running for president of the Board of Education. And yes, she is right here, Dr. Dionne Hoskins. Now, she has come with a good name. I thought she might have been related to Dr. Hoskins, who was the pastor. We used to say pastor, the faith that I'm in, but he was education chairman. I was on the NWC board with Mr. W. Law. And white people at that time hated for that man to be at the board meeting. He asked questions. He would come back to the meeting of the NWCP board, which I was on for about 11 years, with Mr. Law. We spoke out on issues. He would come in and brief us on what was going on. And they didn't like him. He never stood me. So you're not related, but you have a ring.
And I knew him. It was wonderful. And he wrote the history of the NAACP.
And I tell you something else about him. I went to his house one day. I thought I have a few books in my library here. He had 5 times more books than that. Then he had a book written on them known in the community. Mm-hmm. He even had something about me in the book.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that book?
Yes, I read that book. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had this big book with everybody, something about him in there. Mm-hmm. He was a fine man and a good community man. So, Dr. Hoskins, I'm happy to have you here tonight. And I received something in the mail from United Negro College Fund. Mm-hmm. And I read it. Here's what the caption says. Education. I thought about you when I got this in the mail yesterday. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. If you go back and read about slavery, that was one thing that the white man did not want you to do. Learn how to read. Mm-hmm. Why? When you read, you're able to comprehend, you're able to think, mm-hmm. and make decisions. That's why this says education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And how you do that? With good leadership that you will do as the board president, and have the direction of our young people will be on the right road towards achieving a better world for themselves. Now, this man that's running for the presidency, what we had that Ms. Whiteley ran, how long has it been there? 4 years?
It's been 3.5 years.
3.5, almost 4 years.
That's true.
I want the people in this community to know that this man has the backing of the Republicans. He is a Trumpism man, is what he is. He is a Trumpism man. When that man ran against Ms. Whiteley, I don't know what his purse is now, but I do know he had thousands of dollars.
He had more than $370,000. My understanding is he had more than $370,000 for this race in November, and he's had multiple fundraisers since then. I think it far exceeds.
See, he's all done by white people. he submitted himself to white people. That's what he did. I don't know whether he's a Republican or whether he's an independent or what he is, but I do know this. He bows down to white people. They fund all of his activities last election. I know that. And they're probably doing that now. We need this lady. First place, we have more black children in the school system than white children. And this woman is a black woman. She knows their conditions. She knows what they got to have. She can relate to black people. Y'all understand me here. Let's get Dr. Hoskins into this position as president of the board. Now, I was very shocked to see, I'm not going to call any names, but 2 of our representatives endorsing him, a man of Trumpism. I can't understand. I can't believe that. And I knew one of them. I know one of them. They're endorsing him, a man dealing with Trumpism, Republicanism. No black folk gave that man no $400-something thousand. Y'all know it. He had to get it from the white people, from the white business people, Republicans. That's where you get all the money from. Because last time he ran, the information came to me where they bought all this campaign materials and everything that he needed to win that position. So this is the time, ladies and gentlemen, to put this black woman, who is black, our children are one, they're the one have the problems. They have more problems than white children have. They have more needs. She know their needs. She's black. This man is used by white people. Now let's get out the polls and show them. It's the vote. It's the vote. I don't care if a man who got trades and trades and trades of dollars. He can't vote but one time. That's all he can vote. One time. So you're very effective. So I want you to get out there and vote. And like I first said it, when I read this caption here that came on this letter to me yesterday and said education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. How do you do that? When you educate our children, they become effective in the community, leaders. That's what we got to have. And I know, Ms. Hoskins, you been on the board about 14 years.
I have. I've represented the East Side District too.
Okay, now I'm trying to find that from that line, man. Only time that man don't lie is when he's not speaking.
Oh, you got something in the mail.
I got this crap in the mail, and I think I spoke to you about one of them. Now, first place about it, let me just say this: there were 100 people voted, 8 people.
There are 8 district
Eight
representatives,
district,
and then
yes.
the chair, so that's 9.
That's 9. I was thinking about the representative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the 5th district. I'm in the 5th district, and Ms. Irene Hines was my representative on the board.
Mm-hmm.
And she was an excellent person.
She
I was
is
going to her
amazing.
several problems. She got right to them. And I was asking some people about you, and they spoke very highly on you.
Oh,
They certainly did. But I have to tell the truth, man. You may not like it, but I'm going to tell the truth.
I want to hear the truth.
I'm going to tell the truth. Now, when I read this here, I said, this lying man here got all this thing. I said, well, I'm going to wait. Look at it. He called himself grade you or FFF. No. You just Uncle Tom Negro is what you are.
Well, and this doesn't even meet the election guidelines because it doesn't say who's paid for it. It doesn't say paid for
Paid for by
it's
I
not
was
on
asking
there.
that to you. And you to say paid for by the committee to so.
Yeah, it's not.
Now,
it's not on
but
there.
I know he's lying now. He was called himself grading you. But Dr. Haas, you only got one vote.
I got one vote.
You got one vote.
Mhm.
You're not a dictator. That's how ignorant he is right then. Unless I say there's certain issues come up and you say, oh, she voted for this or she voted for that.
Mhm.
He's making a general analysis statement here.
I expected that. I expected somebody to go down my voting record and challenge my voting record.
Yeah, well, I
That's
can
never
understand
happened.
if he did that.
No, that's never
He
happened.
just got in, as if that just said, as if you only one person. You were just one person.
Yeah.
So I this was trash, and I do know this. I'm asking the people to get out and let's show him that we're not going to let white folk run this election. And this Trump is he's a Trump man, and all those people done voted for him and giving him money. They guarantee you check them out. They're Republicans. They're Republicans. He'll get $400,000. Sure, not get from the black people.
No.
Now let me ask you this. I've already spoke about him, and I want you to tell the people this what something that you really like to see happen with our board education. Because I do know people have respect for you. 14 years you've been on that board.
Yes, sir.
And I talked to 1 or 2 people in your district, and they spoke so highly of you. You had a problem, they call you about so and so, you look right into it.
I'm grateful for that. And you know, my view of education is kind of similar to what you got from the United Negro College Fund.
Yes.
When they raise money for children, it's we believe in all children and we want to make education possible for them by raising money to help them.
Exactly.
They don't pick and choose what children that they think they can support. They support all children.
Right.
And one of the things that I want to see in our district is to stop shrinking the children whom we think are capable. You know, the incumbent says that he believes all children can learn, but he has a very narrow focus on the children that he invests energy in. And the goals that we set in the district, right now, he's focusing on all children in 3rd grade being able to read, being literate, and all of the resources he would like to direct there. But we have 11 other grades of children who need investment and attention. We have the children who, for whatever reason, whether it's because they need special education services, maybe they have challenges in their home that we know we see in the Black community, what is it that we would do to make sure that they have what they need to be able to achieve? And that's something that he said in our last forum I'm interested in. He said that education is a business and mental health is not part of that. And I think that's incredible because mental health affects how young people are going to perform.
Yes.
And mental health includes autism. It includes neurodiversity. So
Sure.
How are you going to help a young person and say, I just want you to learn, but I don't want to attend to any of these other things? And unlike businesses that can choose their customers, businesses say, no shirt, no shoes, no service. Public schools can't do that. We have to take everyone. And we choose to take everyone. So we should be in a position so that everybody who comes in the door, every young person, we get them what they need to get where they need to go.
And if you evaluate the situation, more African American children are in that condition than white children.
Oh, indeed. Our data,
That's what I'm talking
the data about African American children across the country and
Yes.
including in our district
Yes.
is that they are performing lower on end of course grades, on GMAS, in English language arts.
You know, I do a lot of reading, and I remember reading, this could be related to that, when President Johnson was talking about his Great Society program,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying that you can't take a black person and put them in a race and expect them to come out number one and number two without any background or training. See,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of our black children come from homes where they don't have adequate food to eat.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have adequate training. They come home, they don't know how to teach anybody fractions
Mm-hmm.
if they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, those parents could have had a deficient experience in their education.
That's what I'm saying. And it passes from generation to generation.
Yeah.
So that's why, like this caption said, you could change the world, but you change the world by having the children better. So when they have children, they become better. They have children, they become better. Now you take the Chinese, China. Well, I've done a lot of reading on all these countries. When they had a counter revolution in that country, Mao Zedong became the chairman of the Communist Party in China. China was a backwards country 6, 7 years ago. But look at China today. Everything we get, look at it where it's come from, made in China.
Mm-hmm.
He had what they call the Cultural Revolution,
Mm-hmm.
is what Mao Zedong did.
Mm-hmm.
And they trained their children. They did this and this, improving the children.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because in the future, the children would take over the activities of the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're about the number one and a lot of other things.
And they're a socialist society, which means everyone's basic needs are taken care of.
Exactly.
So we're not that kind of country.
Yeah.
So we have to, and I'm very proud of most of the characteristics of America. There's
Yeah.
some things
But
that
the other
we
thing
need to
America I'm
do.
not proud of, like I just showed you about Dr. King's exploitation. And never be this way until he said so the white people realize, I can get it read it to you, what they got to do, involve black folk into every aspect of the nation.
So if we're looking at what we need, you talked about there being unity in the African American community. You talked about the value of education
Yes.
as the pathway really to uplift, to independence, to personal power. If we focus on making the best education possible for the greatest number of children,
Exactly.
isn't that the way that you want your tax money spent?
Sure.
I mean, you're a homeowner, and the biggest part of your tax bill is going to the Board of Education,
Yeah.
even though you don't have any young people in school right now.
Not now, I don't have any young people in school, but I did four of my own.
But you and you would want the greatest number of options, the best training
Yes.
for them,
Yes.
not just for them, but not the neighbors down the street. That doesn't benefit you,
Absolutely.
you know. And so that's been my focus. Is part of the challenge that we have in our schools is that we don't have adequate counselors, we don't have adequate special education services, and that means that some young people who could be achieving more are not achieving.
My daughter, not personal reference, my daughter has a master's degree in psychology.
Mm.
And she's in the Atlanta school system. And so she came here. She comes home once in a while. She has her own house here. She works at Savannah State. And my granddaughter, and I asked her how Megan doing.
Mm-hmm.
And Megan comes up, said, Megan, tell me something about your work.
Mm-hmm.
She has 5 schools
Mm-hmm.
that she goes to when these teachers have problems.
Mm-hmm.
She goes and she recommends remedies for these problems.
Mm-hmm.
At 5 schools. Because a lot of our young people, I hate to say black people, I'm talking about black community,
Mm-hmm.
where I spend my life to make the black community better.
Mm-hmm.
And we can only get better with education.
Mhm.
That's why this caption.
Right.
And like you just said, you got to be concerned about the children down the street, whether they're in your home or not.
Yeah, but think about Megan. How on earth do you adequately serve all the kids that need to be served at 5 different schools?
Yes.
What kind of burden is that
On
on
her.
her?
Exactly.
And how must it feel for her that there's a young person at that school that she couldn't get to? Or she called the parent and couldn't reach the parent and had to move on to the next child? You know,
But you still let that one child without help.
that's the reality. And that's the obstacle to being able to read. That's the obstacle to getting your
Now-
math done.
If you sum up your position,
Mm-hmm.
and I want these black people listening to me on this show, you know what I stand for. This show been going over 3 years, and I'm just going to show y'all on this piece of paper that I wrote down today, without you even knowing about it. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna be truthful now, whether you like me or not. I'm gonna tell the truth. These are the people that serve in this community that have been on this show, and they're doing a great job. So I'm started last year, but I gotta say the year before with Bobby Lockett. He's been on this show. Now all of us know him, excellent man on the community. But I'm just showing you how these people have come to this show because try to get people good that will serve our community and cares about our community, like you're saying about our children. It worries me about our black children with the drug culture and all that. I worry about all that because we have to make our community better. I wish they would go back when they used to say, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time my mom used to get on me. I love it. My mom used to go to the PTA. I don't know whether PTA is still functioning or not.
Some places, but not all of
Why
them.
they don't have it all? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Look, my wife served PTA in Windsor Farms
Mhm.
Elementary.
Mm-hmm.
I served as PTA president at Jackson School.
Mm-hmm.
My brother PTA in Cloverdale.
Mm-hmm.
All were PTA presidents. And one time I got to say, Chatham County years ago, Jackson, out there, Moses Jackson out in West Valley,
Mm-hmm.
I was the PTA president, and we were the only school in Chatham County had cold water. Because I put on a drive to raise money for water coolers that we put in the school.
Wow.
No other school had no cold ice water. So education is very important. And I want to tell these people, all these wonderful people that have been on this show and that worked in this community, and I supported them, the show did. Then Masabi, Bobby Lockett, Alicia Blakely, our sheriff, first sheriff. We had 2 other people. In the 60s, we had a black man named Mr. Williams. He had a moving company, and another time on business, but I do know he had a moving company. He ran for sheriff and didn't win. Then we had 2 other guys, one working now with Mr. Coleman,
Mm-hmm.
and one name was David, I believe it was. Anyway, I can't remember his name. But 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
And all these other glass shallows were broken, except the sheriff. We had legislators, we had mayors, all of that. And Mr. Coleman won, and he made history. He came on the show. Sonia Jackson, the tax lady.
Mm-hmm.
Chester Ellis, the chairman of the county commissions. David Campbell, the funeral home director man, outstanding citizen. The young lady named Crystal Holland, the judge. Reverend Smith, pastor of Bethlehem Baptist Church. On the board, and what the white gentleman's name was again, you told me?
David Brinkman.
And that name was, I know the first name was David, I could think
Dr. Brinkman.
Dr. Brinkman. Now that's 9 people. And every one of these people were connected or came to this show, and they're doing a great job in this community. And now I want to make it number 10 that you get out and let's vote for Dr. Hoskins. We got a lady that cares about black children. Black children are the one that's suffering. We got more black children in school than white children. And I remember one time during the 60s, pastor, First Time Baptist Church, my pastor at that time, Reverend Curtis Jackson. We had no black person on the board, period. And I was on the committee. He was the chairman of the education committee for the NAACP. And we dined at the board of education that morning. And the chairman of the board was Sherry Myers. He came from a big law firm, law firm. And he was the president of the board. And Dr. Jackson stood up there and took his finger. He was on one end of the table, and Merritt was on the other end. And he threw that thing at that man and said, it's time to put a black person in this board. That we have more black children in the school system than white children, yet we don't have no reputation on this board. And after that went very long, Mr. Perry from the Cobb State Bank, we got on that board of education. And they went on there to assess the garrison. They have a school named after her. Mm-hmm. So, as black people, we got to consider, put us in a position we can function, and we got to care about our children, our race of our children. That's what we got to do. I remember I said, I wonder what happened to the Boy Scouts. What happened to the Cub Scouts? All that is gone. What happened to a lot of the teachers? A lot of time would take, used to have little inner school council meetings. Mm-hmm. They meet on Saturday with children at the schools. Our children are being lost until we get somebody good like you that care about our children.
You're right.
And that's why I'm asking you, ladies and gentlemen, pass the word. All these wonderful people I just showed you came through this show, are serving this community. All of them serving this community. And I know our community will be better with this lady, Dr. Hoskins, leading. Don't pay no attention to this man. He's a Republican. And they're being rebuked all over the country. He has the backing of white people. He gets all his money from white people. But this lady's struggling, and let's get her. A very educated lady. Doctor has served the community. What district was that? District 2 for 14 years. And she had resigned from that to run for this board. So she sees that we are missing something. She sees that we're missing. You heard of some of the things that we're missing. And with her leadership, we're able to do it. Now, Dr. Hoskins, let me ask you one more thing.
Okay.
Before you leave here, tell us one or two things that you would really love to see come to fruition when you win. You're going to win. We're going to make her chairman of the board. I'm trying to say, we have other women been president of the board. I know we had a white woman one time because I went to a meeting years and years ago. Mm-hmm. And I forgot we had the meeting. Mm-hmm. She was speaking. She had some challenges. Wasn't no black person challenges this time. It was a white person challenge. I can't remember who it was.
I know who you're talking about.
We had a white woman was president of the board. Mm-hmm. I don't think we never had no black woman. We never had no black woman president of the board.
Not elected president of the board, no?
No, we not had no. We had black woman principal. I mean superintendent, like Miss Virginia, yes. Mm-hmm. But we had no black woman president. Now let's put this woman to be president. Y'all listen to me. I led y'all name all these wonderful people. Pass the word to vote. And I told you we got to vote as never before. Mm-hmm.
So you asked me to share what I wanted to see.
Yeah, because I have about 5 minutes more before the show, and I want you to share that.
It's really important to me that every student who's going to school sees a pathway to what they want to do in life.
Exactly.
So whether that's a trade, whether they, want to do a trade like HVAC or iron workers or carpentry or anything like that.
5 more minutes or 15 minutes over time.
I want students to have an opportunity to see all kinds of careers, academic careers, trade careers.
Yes.
I want to expand our partnerships with the unions. They have apprentice programs that they can't get enough students in. I want every student in the classroom to see a vision for what they want to do. That is really what I want to see. I want students to feel like there is a pathway for them. Yeah. And for them to feel like there are teachers and staff who are helping them get to that pathway. When I was in school in the 80s, yes, everybody was either going college, military, or getting a job. Yes. And everybody was moving in that direction. Yes. I want students to know that there are many, many pathways.
Many other pathways.
And I want us to use all of our resources to help them get there. And if a young person is struggling, I don't want to look at and judge the family because the young person is struggling.
I want to ask them
What
what's
can you
going
do?
on. Yeah, what's going on? What do you need
that you
How
can help. Exactly.
How we can help? And I think that's the job of the
Have other
district.
programs and things that you can put them in a direction.
Yeah,
with
or
our
community
people.
partnerships. There are
Yes.
lots of community organizations, like you said, NAACP. Look, there are lots of community organizations that
Yeah.
have the same interest in making sure that all young people do. We can't do it as a district, even though we are a very large district. We can't do it by ourselves.
No.
We need parents, we need families, we need community organizations.
But you got to agree with me, though, that you got to have strong leadership
oh,
at
absolutely,
the top.
absolutely.
That's why we need you to be the superintendent. Y'all hear me? I want her to be number 10, the person that's been on this board that got elected. She is a wonderful lady. She got the leadership, and we don't need no Trumpism man running our schools. Dr. Hoskins, I'm so glad you came to the show, and I know you're going to win. I want number 10 now, ladies, and pass everybody. And we got to vote. This primary in November, we got to vote. Every organization ought to be, every minister in this community ought to be talking about voting. You see, they're trying to put us back before 1965. That's what they're trying to do. Black
Sadly.
people and those of color. But we all of us have a right to vote. We can do that. I'm so happy you came on the show, and I know that you're going to be successful because people have confidence in me. But I'll show you about the evidence.
Well, thank you. I want to be number 10. I don't want to mess up your streak. I don't want you calling me saying I messed up your winning streak.
No.
It's been an honor to be on your show, and thank you for welcoming me into your home.
Yes, my pleasure. And now I want to say two things. I do have about 6-7 more minutes. Mr. Hall gave me a few minutes over time because I had an additional person because of missing the meeting last month. And I want to say about two people here that I want you to consider. Now, we're asking you, you're seeing all these advertising on the TV about these two people here. This white lady and this black lady running for Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very important court now because the Supreme Court was in Virginia when it caused this problem. So we're going to need to get these two people on the Supreme Court. Y'all see our advertising on TV. I know you see it. But I want to talk about two people here. And one of them is a young man named Marcus Tucker. Fine young man. I met him 25 years ago. And when I found out who he was, I was shocked. I said, boy, I didn't know that was you. I can't remember. When he came to Pennsylvania, he finished Harvard University School of Law, and he associated himself with Attorney Charles Bear, one of the finest young men lawyers in this community for years. Good character, Mr. Bell. But he was working out of that office. And then he began to work in the judicial system. Mm-hmm. But now he's running for the judge Recorder's Court, Marcus Tucker. Now he has the endorsement of former mayor and both of the mayors, really, Mr. Johnson and Mr. Edna Jackson. Mm-hmm. He's running for the court. So I did a research, and here's what I want y'all to understand why I want this black man on this ballot to be the Recorder's Court judge. I had some research done to me. I had a person did some research for me. I want to know how many African Americans we have judges in the whole system. Mm-hmm. Guess what it is? The white people have judges, male and female, both in black and white, but the white judges, 65% of the judges on the system in Chatham County are white, 35% African American. We need more black judges. I can remember we didn't have no judge at all, no black judge. And guess who wasn't called to have black judges? Dr. Ralph Mark Gilbert. Savannah, Georgia was the first city in the South to have black police officers. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Dr. Gilbert. First credit union in a church in Georgia. First time Baptist Church, a credit union. Dr. Gilbert. go to law school, finish college, go to law school. But that didn't happen. But God had maybe had this for me. I don't know. But I love my people. I worked my whole life to make my race a better race. And civil rights doing the boycott. And I have to give former Mayor Eddie Jackson credit. She was magnificent with the Political Advisory Council, encouraging people to get out and vote. Our organization was so powerful. You had to see us before you could even run for office. You didn't know that, did you? Political Advisory Council, powerful organization. We called the changers. They used to throw black folk in jail, like no kind of respect. And the first judge that was decent was Judge Emmanuel Lewis, put on there by the PSC, Dr. Gilbert. And he stopped all that going to court, call you all by your first name, and used to come on the radio. The recorders court used to come on the radio.
Really?
And yes, ma'am. And you can have people talking, but he stopped, Judge Mr. Emmanuel Lewis, stopped that fool, calling people by their first name. And when I think of that, and I'll be in a minute, I think of that, and I think about Dr. Bethune-Cookman. She was on the train one day, and she fell asleep nodding on the train, and the conductor was collecting the tickets. And he touched her, woke up, and said, Annie. And she woke up, and said, white ticket man. He said, Annie, ticket. She said, oh, which one of my children are you? That's fiction. Call it by a first name. Give you any kind of name. You see what I'm saying? Long ways black folks have come. And they are trying to move black folks back into that kind of environment, any kind of type of condition. But we'll never go back. But we got to do the right thing is to get out and vote. That's all we have. As a race of people, we don't have no money. As a race of the people.
I don't have money.
I don't have none. You talking about money, I ain't talking no $100, talking in the millions. Like Trump is worth $6.8 billion. And got his family getting billions. That's what I'm talking about, money. All the big corporations. And that's where this man getting his money from, Mr. Morris. So I just want y'all to know that I enjoy my thing tonight. I want y'all to get out and vote. And did I mention about, I got one I didn't mention.
Yeah.
One more I got to mention here. And these two people running around here, Miss Scott, wonderful lady I've known for many, many years. She works for the attorney. She's a wonderful lady. And this gentleman, they're running for office of the vote. That's what they're running for. The Chatham County Board of Elections. They supervise the elections in Savannah and Chatham County.
That's Oliver?
Oliver, I have never met him, but he's working with her.
Jaquan Oliver and Tara Scott Brown.
And Tara Scott Brown. Miss Brown, I've been knowing her a long time. So remember now, she and this gentleman, the Board of Elections, and Mr. Marcus Tucker, we need to improve and increase our representation in the court system of Chatham County. And please, and of course, back again, like the Hoskins, we got to get on this board to be the president, and we can move forward with our children. All children, but especially black children, because we the one need more help than anybody else. You just got to be realistic. I'm realistic, and that's the truth. And we need good leadership, good examples, good people to emulate, like she. So thank you very much for listening to the show, and I hope to see you next month. And I did have a lot of information on the government to tell you about. You'll be surprised when I tell you about the Kentucky Derby. I'm going to mention that to you next month. You'll be really shocked. So I'm going to tell you all good night and have a blessed weekend. And get out and vote for all these people that I told you about. Because of hopeless people, if you don't vote, we'll be hopeless. Thank you very much for listening to the show. Thank you. Where are you, baby? Where you at?
I got you.
Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, I ended, baby. That's fine. She typed, thank you. So you hit the music back on. It's all right. Well, I'm so glad you came to the show.